This is why I hate newer shit and why I'm a firm believer in older stuff. Why? Well, here's why. Here's exactly why. This little brain box, if it fails, machine stops running. One wire, if it fails, machine stops running, and you gotta buy a whole damn new harness. Pickup coil, if it stops working, the bike stops running, you gotta buy a whole damn new harness half the time. If one little teeny ass thing stops working, you gotta buy a whole damn new harness. While with something like this old bastard, if it won't run, you pop this cover, go get a screwdriver and some sandpaper, open up the points, and sandpaper them clean, put the cover back on, and it'll fire right up. And if something goes bad, there are only so many things to go bad. Ignition coil, charging coil, condenser. If it's the condenser, well, that can kind of tricky sometimes. Ignition coil, well, you'll know, because you'll know. Well, with one of these, there's also the coil, the CDI, the pickup coil, the spark plug, and the wiring harness, the whole damn wiring harness, like 50 damn wires. So, this little bastard quit running the other day. I noticed this was flopping all over, and the green wire was disconnected. It was just flopping around. It broke. So I soldered it back. Still don't run, still no spark. So I checked the ignition coil. Have another ignition coil here that I know works. And that's not the problem. So, what's left? I already checked continuity between the wire plugs. Is the off switch on? Yes, it's on. So what's left after that? There's the pickup coil, and there is the charging coil. So, let's go with pickup coil. How are we going to check that? Well, I don't know. Probably includes an ohm meter. So, let's Google it, YouTube it, and go from there. So, I did a few quick Google searches, and sounds like we need to check this red and black wire for continuity. Black and red, red and black. Same damn wire. So, or not continuity, voltage. So it should produce a high enough voltage that you can pull out the wire and hold on to it and put one finger on the ground or on the engine, kick it over, and you should get a pretty good shock. I would not recommend doing this, but the guy's saying 150 volts or better normally. He said 50 to 100 is acceptable. So we are going to check it out. See if he knows what he's talking about. So I'm just gonna pull this plug. Stiff ass little bastard. Then I am going to get my pocket knife out, and I'm gonna bend that tab down, the retaining tab. I am going to pull the wire out so I can hold on to it. Because I don't want to destroy my $400 voltmeter. I'm pretty resistant to electricity anyways. Yeah, that's a pretty good voltage there. If you're not pretty resistant to electricity, I would not recommend doing that. yeah. I don't know how many volts that is. So I'm going to set this to AC volts. Should be good for up to 400, I think. And I'm gonna go get an alligator clip as well. Okay, so I've got a voltmeter hooked up. Okay, we're getting up to 100 already. Pretty easy. So that's good. So I'm gonna go back and I'm going to, oh yeah, he said that go between the blue wire and the ground and check for continuity there. If there's no continuity, your trigger coil is messed up, aka your pickup coil. So we're gonna go over to the diode setting. Well then, there's continuity there. So now I gotta figure out which one of these which hole this went in. I think it was this one. Okay. So then we are going to hook this back up to the coil in hopes that it was just a bad connection. Hopes. It's not very likely. We're not getting spark, so I would not recommend this either, but I'm going to pry or push these boots outwards. Now the guy said there should be about 600 volts going through these, and believe me, there is. There's quite a bit of voltage going through these. I'm actually having second thoughts on doing this. Because it flipping hurts. Yeah. So, no voltage. So what's that mean? It means that this got knocked around so much and smashed up and fucked up that it is bad. That's what it means. So we gotta buy a new one. Then it should work just fine.